What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Plio and today I want to discuss the new crossover banner. We have so many things to cover. We're going to start reviewing the weapons, then some builds that you can do with these new weapons, and finally the question of the day, should you pull on this banner? Without further ado, let's look at the new weapon for Tifa. Kirin Gloves, 940% magical lightning damage at overboost 10, only costing 4 ATB. And when HP is 50% or more, magical attack is increased mid. Our abilities are 31 points for magical attack and 39 points for lightning potency. This weapon can break cross sigils, so it's a really good candidate as a primary weapon because you need your primary weapons to break sigils. Now, personally, the buff mid is actually mid. It's a bit low. It's really good as a weapon in general, but the buff could be higher. That's what I want to say. And the R abilities could also be higher. So it's not something, in my opinion, to lose your head for. The interesting part is that Tifa is becoming a magical DPS user. She has always been a physical DPS user, and now she's starting to have more and more options to build her as a magical user. I believe at the end of the day, all units are going to be able to do everything or more or less everything. But the key thing is where you want to invest in your account. Do you want to start having a magical team? Do you want to have a magical team at all? Or do you prefer to focus on physical teams? Those are the things that you need to start considering. Now, Kirin Suit boosts magical ability potency 10 points, Levin Blade Arcanut 35% lightning damage. So now we have three Thunder Gods. We have Zack on top, in my opinion, Tifa second, and then Cloud last. Am I missing any of the Thunder Gods? Was Barret a Thunder God? I don't play with Barret, so I don't know. Decent, pretty decent. Let's have a look at Kamura 1. Now, just with 5-star, okay? Physical attack is increased mid to all units, and magical defense is also increased mid if your HP is 70% or more. You can do all those two things with only 4 ATBs. That's fantastic. Now, it also does a little touch of healing, 5%. And the last SPT materia can help you use your materia Cura to heal all your party. It will heal less, but with a decent buff, you can survive. With this weapon, 46 points on HP and 39 points on buff and debuff extension. With this weapon, Aerith just became the best offensive support unit. Now, why do I say offensive support unit? Because if the boss is going to buff itself, like what we have seen in the recent Umus crash, where they were buffing 9 stacks or physical attack or something crazy like that, then Aerith is not going to help you. Like being offensive, bringing an offensive support unit is not going to help you. You need a defensive support unit. And on that sense, Matt is still the best defensive support unit in the game thanks to the limit break that he has. Now, this weapon opens the possibility to bring Aerith and then 2 of your physical DPS. Do you want to bring Yuffie? Do you want to bring Cloud? Do you want to bring Zack? Maybe Sephiroth with the new Aero Wind weapons. He will also be really good at that. The thing is that he was buffing himself. Now he doesn't need to buff himself. DPS can now focus on doing DPS. This is one of the things that we have been waiting and finally is here. Because before we needed the limit breaks to get to this point where all the units has physical attack. Now we don't need it. We can start moving away from those limit breaks and into weapons. This is fantastic and is, in my opinion, game breaking. This is power creep and is hinting at crazy level of power that we are going to see next, because from here we can only go more and more and more, right? So it's going to be really interesting. I wonder what Vincent is going to bring to the table. Now, let's look into Kamura Dress. Boost heal 10 points and buff and debuff extension plus 10 points, which gives you 60% buff and debuff extension. The good thing is that because the name is different, it adds up. It doesn't stack with this R ability, so you can have 200% buff and debuff extension plus 60% of the outfit, making, as I was saying, making Aerith the best offensive support unit. I think this is fantastic. Now, let's discuss some builds. I was preparing this page. So, if Aerith is your physical support and you bring Kamura 1 as primary, what will be your secondary, right? So, the natural option, the most common one, will be bringing extra healing so that she can heal and buff your units. And also you are interested perhaps in keeping your HP as high as possible so that the second ability of your weapons can pop. Really nice, really good option. Now, this option will be to make Aerith a stronger off DPS so that Tempest Force can do 900% physical non-elemental damage. This is one of the OG weapons. Boost attack, boost limit break. It costs 4 ATB. So yeah, it could work. The base stat is not really high. So maybe if you don't need that much healing, because remember that you can have your materia cura in this weapon as primary, so that could also help you heal. You don't need to bring a weapon, maybe, depending on your R abilities, etc. So she could do even more DPS to speed up your fights. And then lastly, I think, well, you can bring anything, but from my recommendations, the last options will be to bring even more utility. So in those fights where physical defense could be applied, with the cost of only 3 ATB, she can do physical defense down and then later do physical attack up, or start better with physical attack up to everyone, then physical defense down. Wind resistant, it will only apply on some situations, but this physical defense, if it can work, it will be really useful to speed up your fights. I would say better than bringing more DPS. Utility also lasts longer. So when you invest in weapons that do utility, they are less likely to be power crept than the weapons that do damage. For example, like now we're seeing 940%, right, on this damage, but soon, in like a month or two, we will see 1,100, you know, or something like that, or we will see 1 multiplied by 1.3 or by 1.4 and things around those lines. So, but this physical defense down is going to stay as mid, and it's going to be really useful. I don't think, well, maybe in the future we will see super high and we will see levels beyond high, maybe, but for now this is, yeah, fantastic. Now, that's on Aerith. Tifa. Now Tifa can become a hybrid magical DPS, which I think is, I don't know, I'm not sure, but let's just discuss this. With Killing Gloves, 940, and then Bunny Gloves can do 850. So then you can do magical damage, you can do thunder damage, and it boosts your magical attack, so you can have more magical points. The thing about this one is that we haven't seen, maybe, okay, this could be really useful if we need to fight Ramu, so we need to bring thunder damage, plus another future summon where we need water damage. So maybe she will become that person. I don't know. You know, something that happened with Red 13 is that she started to get multiple elements, and she's like, Red 13 is getting better and better at, you know, being that utility unit. Now Tifa is getting better and better at being a magical user. I'm not convinced about this, but you know, she doesn't have many magical attack weapons. She only have another one, and I don't think it will be useful. So, not convinced by this one, but extremely convinced by Aerith. Now, the question of the day: should you pull on this banner? Well, I'm not so clear about this banner, to be honest. Well, let me correct myself. I am 100% invested in this weapon, and I'm gonna pull this weapon right now. So let's go to the draw. So change. I really wanna have at least one copy of the new Kamura 1, and well, maybe as many copies as possible of Kamura 1. But I'm not gonna lose my head about this one. Kamura 1 and Kamura Dress, that's what I'm going for. So I'm going for one page. Well, actually, the second page could be beneficial for my account, quite beneficial, so then Aerith can do her magic. Now, the thing is, we need to look at the future. in the future, we know summer outfits are coming. We know Vincent is coming. We know the half anniversary is coming. There are many good things that are coming. And I would say, if you are not in a rush, now is the best time to save your draws for a moment where the power creep has stabilized a little bit. We are increasing the power creep, and it feels like our investments are not going to last long enough. So I want to have some copies of this new weapon for Aerith. I have many weapon parts, but I also want to chill because when Vincent drops, I'm personally really invested in Vincent. Now, going back to the question, should you pull on this banner? Samurai outfit? Sorry. Should you pull on this banner? I think Aerith weapon is quite recommended, especially for whales and krakens. Well, if you're a mega kraken, Tifa weapon maybe as well. But for free-to-play users, I'm not convinced on Tifa weapon, and I am quite convinced on Aerith weapon. Am I explaining myself today? Sorry, I need more coffee. Oof, nice pull. So, as a recap, should you pull on this banner? I think it's really good to consider only for Aerith weapon. Me personally, Aerith weapon is a fantastic weapon that will really help your account if you want to build a physical team. But then if you're building a physical team, what is going to happen with Sephiroth, for example? Many of you have Sephiroth as a main, and if you didn't pull in the wind banner, he exceeds at being a magical DPS. So you need to think about your whole composition. If Aerith is bringing this weapon, it's because you want to make 100% a team that is only physical. Me personally, I want to make a team that is 100% physical, and that's why I like this weapon. But if you want to play hybrid, just because you don't have the weapons, and it's fine to not have the weapon, everybody's in a different stage. There is no competition. You are you against yourself. So there's no rush even. So then in that sense, having a hybrid team, then this weapon doesn't work at all, because why would you like to do physical attack high to all your party when some do physical, some do magical? I don't think the investment is worth it if your team is hybrid. It's only worth it if your team is fully focused on physical, but then you're compromising on other things. So again, personally, must pull for me personally, because I only want to have physical damage teams. So really invested on that one. Got the weapon, fantastic. Let's see what the banner brings in this first. Oh, nice, another copy. Freaking awesome. Yes, I'm gonna buy this one. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull until the end of the first page and the second page, so that I can have this weapon and I can continue building my physical team. That means that I will always be skipping from now on magical teams unless they are so broken that I need to reconsider my strategy. The problem then is that I also need to reconsider my investment. Right now I only want to invest on physical weapons, physical teams. So that's my call. You need to make your own call. Where do you want to see your team going? This is it for today. Happy to answer any comments, questions. Let's continue the conversation. And yeah, wishing you all the luck. As I always say, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate your support. Try to give us, subscribe or thumbs up for better luck, Yeah, until next time. My name is Plio. Cheerios. Bye bye.